Ladies and gentlemen, don't mention this to a soul, but the secret word tonight is Sky. S-K-Y.
Really?
You bet your life! Elgin America, creator of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, magic action lighters, finest dresser sets, presents Groucho Marx in the Elgin American show, You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here's that sterling Elgin American, the one, the only...
When did he get out? Oh, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples tonight. George Fenneman, who's first to try and take it away from me?
Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected the father of a bride and the mother of a groom. And here they are, Mrs. Fay Levine and Mr. Martin McHugh. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for Elgin American Compacts, folks. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins a 16-millimeter Apollo Sound movie projector instantly. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mr. Martin McHugh, huh?
That's right.
You're the father of the bride, huh? How do you feel?
I have felt peppier.
Why don't you get some sleep?
I will when the wedding's over.
Aren't you married?
My daughter's getting married.
You mean your daughter's wedding, huh?
That's right.
You're the mother of the groom, eh, Mr.
Yes.
B, huh? When is your son going to be married, huh?
February.
February, huh? How long have you known Mr. McHugh?
I don't know Mr. McHugh.
Then I don't think you two should get married. Huh?
We're not.
Mrs. Levine, who just is getting married?
My son.
Your
and
son?
his daughter.
I see. To each other?
No, not to each other.
Why not? Why aren't they?
They don't know each other.
They don't know each other.
No.
What better reason do you want for getting married? Let's get better acquainted. But how long have you been married, Mr. McHugh? Huh?
About 22 years.
Mm-hmm. Now, how'd you meet your wife?
Well, I met her in a boarding house in St. Louis. Saw her coming down the steps one morning as I was about to eat breakfast, and that finished me for the breakfast. I didn't eat any.
You were eating breakfast on the steps?
I started to. No, at the table. But I saw her coming down the steps.
What were you eating? Do you remember?
Well, I started to drink some coffee.
Mm-hmm. And that was grounds for marriage?
That right there, yes. I was hooked right there.
How did you meet your husband, Mrs. Levine? Huh?
Well, I came from London to Toronto, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband had been living at my sister's 6 weeks.
Uh-huh. And?
Well, it looked like something that I thought would be just right.
For your sister?
No, my sister.
Your sister didn't care for him?
Well, she was married.
Answer my question, Mrs. Levine.
Oh, she liked him.
Well, will your son and his wife live with you or with her folks?
Well, they're going to live on their own.
They're going to live on their own what, huh? Oh, they're going to live by themselves, huh? Why don't they live together? What sort of work does your husband do?
Well, he has the Carlo cleaners.
Carlo cleaners?
Mm-hmm.
And what is your occupation, Mr. McHugh?
I sell surgical instruments and hospital supplies for the ASLO company.
Anything exciting ever happened on your job that you'd care to relate, Mr. McHugh?
Well, something happened just a couple of weeks ago that I thought was quite funny.
You did, huh?
A customer called up, a woman customer, and she immediately complained about receiving a piece of equipment that was damaged. And finally she said, well, I can't hear you, talk louder. And I did. I talked much louder. And finally she said she couldn't hear me again, and then there was a lull in the conversation. The next thing I heard, she said, I'm sorry, but I'll have to call you back. My battery went out.
Did she say who it went out with? Now, Mr. McHugh, as the father of the bride, tell me, are you the big wheel at the wedding?
Well, I think I am. I'm supposed to be.
In what way?
Well, I pay all the bills.
How much is the wedding going to set you back, approximately?
Oh, I'd say roughly in the neighborhood of $2,000.
That's a fairly rough neighborhood, isn't it? Aside from that little $2,000 item, Mr. McHugh, what are some of your other duties connected with the wedding?
Well, I've got to give the bride away and act as
$2,000 giveaway, huh? I hope the FCC doesn't stop the music. Is that all you do at the wedding, just give away the bride?
No, I act as host and see that everybody's happy and gets enough to eat and drink.
Mm-hmm. Well, you look like a pretty genial host, Mr. McHugh. So all the guests are going to be very happy there.
Well, we hope so.
I hope so, too. And if your daughter is half as cute as you are, I think it's going to be... Has the swag started rolling in yet? The wedding stuff?
Well,
the gifts?
A few things have.
Uh-huh. You know why everybody sends presents to the bride, don't you? The only chance they have of getting rid of some of the junk that they got on their wedding, huh?
Groucho.
Yeah, yes, George?
I'd like to make a suggestion to Mr. McHugh.
Well, you go right ahead, George.
All right, it's
nobody makes finer suggestions than you do, George.
Mr. McHugh, it's customary for the bride to give nice remembrances to her bridesmaids. And compacts, pearls, and cigarette cases by Elgin American are certainly wonderful gifts at weddings everywhere.
Thank you, George. I now pronounce you Elgin American. And speaking of gifts, what are you going to give Mrs. Levine here?
Well, Elgin American's beautiful dresser set, finished in jeweler's bronze that looks like gold. A perfect gift.
How do you like it, Mrs. L?
I like it very well. It's just what I need.
Well, thanks. How was the wedding, huh?
He's not married
He's
yet.
not married yet.
No.
The groom got cold feet?
No, I
Usually, as most husbands discover, it's the bride that has the cold feet, huh? I want to thank all you foot warmers out there. Now, Mr. McHugh, let's get back to you. As father of the bride, what are some of your expenses?
Well, I have to buy the trousseau for the bride and the food and various other things.
Mm-hmm. You seem to be providing everything for the wedding.
Looks like
Doesn't the groom's family supply anything?
nothing more than the groom.
Well, that's certainly little enough, huh? You think that's fair, Mrs. Levine?
Well, yes, because the groom has to pay all expenses afterwards.
Yeah, but after the wedding, the bride's father has all the bills to pay, while the groom's father has a room to rent. Huh? Now let's play You Bet Your Wife. Let's play You Bet Your Life. In just 1 minute, you're going to work together as a team for $1,500. But right now, I want you to listen carefully to some interesting conversation.
Mary, what can I give Eleanor Blake for Christmas? She has everything. She may have everything, but her bedroom hasn't. Of course. She needs a dresser set. You've given me a wonderful idea.
And dresser sets are the decorator touch every bedroom needs today. Elgin American dresser sets for the most beauty, most value. They're exquisitely styled, engraved, and finished. Precision made to the last nylon bristle. Extremely value priced. Comb, brush, and mirror from just $14.95. From $7.95 for Elgin American's companion line of American Beauty dresser sets. So bring your bedroom, your guest room up to the minute. Buy Elgin American dresser sets tomorrow. And buy them for the important, impressive gifts they make. Just make sure they're first in fashion, first in value. Elgin American dresser sets.
Now then, let's see how well you two will do in the quiz. Fenneman, tell them how you play You Bet Your Life.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,500 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's happening out here.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected questions on famous hotels.
That's right.
Here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you go for?
How about 5? Should we bet 5?
5. In what city do you find the Terrace Plaza Hotel?
Los Angeles?
One answer between you. Take a guess. I'm sorry, the bell is tolled. It's Cincinnati.
They now have $15.
You now have $15. Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. Now, how much of the 15 are you going to try?
Let's try 10 this time.
In what city do you find the Palmer House Hotel?
Chicago.
Chicago is right.
Now they're on their way. They have $25.
Now you've got $25. Here's your third question. How much of the 25 will you try?
You try 20?
20. In what city do you find the Sherry Netherlands Hotel?
New York.
New York is right. The little lady is right.
They're climbing now. They have $45.
Give the little lady $45. Here's your last chance. I tell you what I'm going to do. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 45 are you going to try?
45.
In what city do you find the Roni Plaza Hotel?
San Francisco.
No, I'm sorry. It's Miami Beach.
All right.
Well, I'm really amazed. I thought when you came up here you'd walk off with a lot of money. I'm going to give you one more chance to get rich quick. Answer this question correctly, and I'll hand over $10 in cash. And remember, no help in the audience, please. Who is buried in Grant's tomb? Grant is right. Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Don't go away now. You're still in the running for the big question. Fenneman, who's next in the docket?
A butcher and a housewife, Groucho. They don't know the secret word is sky. Our housewife is Mrs. Helen Hall, and our butcher is Mr. Jack Jeffries. And here they come. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins a 16mm Apollo sound movie projector instantly. It's a common word, something you see every day. A butcher and a housewife, eh? Mr. Jeffries, eh? Where do you do your butchering, Mr. Jeffries?
Ralph's Market,
And where are you from? Frankfurt?
Arkansas.
And where are you from, Mrs. Hall?
Do you mean originally?
Let's forget our ancestors swinging in the trees. Just tell me where you were born, Helen. I'll call you Helen, huh?
Okay.
Okay.
I was born in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
And you, Jack Jeffries, you're not related to Jim Jeffries, huh?
Oh, distantly.
You are. Tell me, Soup Bone, how long have you been butchering meat?
About 5 years.
5 years. Now, there's always something I want to know about butchers. How can you tell the weight of meat? For example, a customer says, give me a pound of ground round, and you scoop up a slab, and it always comes out a pound. Why is that? Do you go by rule of thumb?
Well, after handling meat for so long a time, you begin to get kind of come second nature. You can pretty near pick up a pound and...
But you admit there's a small margin of error, huh?
Well, very small.
Just enough to buy a Cadillac at the end of the year? Now tell me, Lamb Chops, what is the busiest time of the year for you, huh?
Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Well, you're busy right about now, then.
Yes,
huh?
sir.
How much are turkeys this year?
52 cents undressed, 59 dressed.
What do you dress them in, mink? What size turkey do you consider the best?
Well, I think a bird, about 15-pound bird, is the best eating bird.
I'm not interested in how he eats. I mean, how does he taste? That's what I want to know. How long have you been married, Helen?
Well, I've been married 7 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't have to be belligerent about it. What does your husband do?
He's doing secret work for the Navy.
How'd you meet him, Helen?
Well, Groucho, I was going to a surprise party to a gang of girls. So I went out and bought me the most beautiful black chiffon dress that you ever saw, quite long and full. And so,
you were quite long and full, huh?
No, the dress was.
Oh, you were short and empty, huh?
Sure. And then the day of the party, it looked almost like rain. And so
what did the party?
The day.
Oh, the day looked like
rain. I looked out into the sky, and it was quite...
You said sky, Helen, and that's the secret word. George, tell her what she wins.
A 16mm Apollo sound movie projector.
Oh.
Now you can show regular Hollywood sound movies or movies you take yourself, and it sells for $129.50.
Now, what were we talking about when the sky fell on
I was talking about the sky.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And then I started up the street, and I had to go about 4 blocks to a bus line. And then the rain came down. It just came down in all directions. And,
it'll do that, you know.
Sure, but you don't know what happened to my nice new dress. My dress kept creeping up and up until what chiffon when it gets wet.
Oh, yes, I had trouble with it all the time.
Well, it wads up into a ball, and so it just kept creeping up, and it kept creeping up.
And where was the bus driver? Huh?
I had this great big mammoth umbrella. And so I was keeping it in front of me. And then pretty soon there was a car drove up. And some man stuck his head out of the door, and he says, well, lady, he said, would you like to have a ride?
Well, when is the next installment of this, huh? I'll have to wait a week for that.
Well, could I tell the rest of it? I spread the umbrella the best I could over my lap when I got into the car, and so he drove me home. And while I was changing my clothes into something dry, why, he and my mother had a cup of tea and a cup, and some cake.
Yeah.
And so they got acquainted. And so, I don't know, just somehow or rather we got married.
And that fellow's now your father?
No,
Well, what about you?
Well, Groucho, he's my husband now. We got married in about 6 months.
I see. Well, that turned out very well, I suppose. Well, you make a charming couple, and we have the perfect gifts from our sponsor. George, would you mind doing the honors?
For Mrs. Hall, pearls. The finest simulated pearls at any price. Elgin American pearls.
They're beautiful, and thank you.
And for Mr. Jeffries, the perfect gift for any man. Elgin American's popular cigarette case with today's smart leather-like look.
Okay, now let's play You Bet Your Life for $1,500. You're on your $20 into more than the other couples, and you get a chance at the big question later. Fenneman's off stage. Remind our listeners how much the first couple won. Tell them, George.
The father of the bride and the mother of the groom lost all their money, so these people have a clear field.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected mountains west of the Mississippi. Is that right?
That's right.
Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
10.
10?
10? All right.
All
Keep those
right.
10.
In what state do you find Mount Whitney?
California.
California is right, huh?
Well, they're off to a good start. They have $30, Groucho.
How much of your $30 will you bet?
20?
20?
Okay.
In what state is Liberty Gap Mountain? Liberty Gap Mountain. Sounds like double tone. Liberty Gap Mountain.
You know?
Take
Tennessee.
a guess. Take a guess. Oh, no.
West of Mississippi.
I'm sorry.
That's
It's
right.
Washington.
That's right.
It's Washington. That's a tough one, though.
They now have $10.
You now have $10. Here's your third question. You have $10 left. Now, how much are you going to bet?
Bet $1.
No, not. We're going to make it last. We got one more question.
Come on. Yes, you have another question there,
All
please.
right, 5.
All right.
$5.
In what state is Pikes Peak?
Colorado.
Colorado is correct.
And they're on their way again with $15.
All right, you're rolling along. You got $15. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 15 you going to go for?
Bet $1.
All right, all of
Oh.
it, she
You're
said.
going to bet it all. In
Oh.
what state is Mount Palomar?
California.
California!
And they wind up with a grand total of $30.
Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Now, in just 1 minute, our last couple will play You Bet Your Life, and then we know who gets the $1,500 question. But at the moment, I'd like you to listen to this.
Sterling silver, gleaming gold, jeweler's bronze are used, I'm told, in making compacts of such fame, they bear the Elgin American name.
They must be very expensive if they're made of such wonderful materials.
They look expensive, we'll admit, but looks are not the half of it. Precision crafted, value packed at any price, the best compact. Beautifully styled, superbly finished. Yet the price is so diminished.
Well, how much are Elgin American Compacts?
As little as $3.95. And for the thriftiest man alive who wants a compact for his cutie, there's the companion line of American Beauty. $2.95 is all for these. So if you want your gift to please, say Elgin American when you buy. Now Groucho's waiting, so I must fly.
Now then, we'll soon know who's going to earn the most money and get the chance at the $1,500 question. George, who's leading so far?
Well, the butcher and the housewife are leading with $30. Our final couple is about to come in from their waiting room off stage. They don't know the secret word is sky. We invited some bail bondsmen and some process servers to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected bondsman Frank Tobolio and process server Robert Berge, and here they are. Gentlemen, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for Elgin American Compacts. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins a 16-millimeter Apollo sound movie projector. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mister, you're a bail bondsman?
That's right, son.
Where are you from? Greenvale, Wisconsin?
No, New York City.
Are you married, or aren't you interested in the bonds of matrimony?
No, I'm married.
How'd you meet your wife, Mr. de Baloo?
Well, I dropped
Did you
into
jump bail and land on your lap?
Not quite. I went into a drugstore one day, ordered a Coke, and reached in my pocket, and I didn't have a nickel. Fortunately, she happened to be sitting next to me, so I struck up an acquaintance, and borrowed a nickel, and so I married her.
Wouldn't have been cheaper to give her the nickel back, then?
Frankly, I think she's still trying to get it back.
Tell me, can opener, that's you. As a bail bondsman, just what do you do?
Oh, I make the acquaintance of various people and ascertain what their moral characteristics are like, and if they are financially responsible, and try to give them bail if they can't put up cash for themselves.
How much does it cost for one of your bonds?
Oh, as for an example, a $1,000 bond would cost $100.
I can get a $1,000 bond for $100?
Mm-hmm.
Does the Treasury Department know about that? How do you know if a man is a good risk? How can you tell he's not going to skip the country after you fish him out on bail?
Oh, I talk to him and try to ascertain whether he's of good moral character.
Suppose he's just blown the safe down at the bank. Do you spring him if he happens to have a kind face?
No. We try to ascertain what his financial condition is.
Mm-hmm. Depends on how much of the bank's cash he got away with. How do you find what his financial position is?
Well, we ask him a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm. Well, suppose I was in the Bastille because they caught me in a washroom using one of those paper towels which I blotted instead of rubbed. Now, you're going to go my bail. What do you want to know? I have a kind face. Now, go ahead, huh?
Well, I'd look at you through the bars, and I would probably say,
aren't you a little premature?
No, you'd be in jail. I'd be on the outside. I'd ask you, well, what's your booking name?
George Fenneman. That's an alias I use.
Now, what's your true name?
My true name? Margaret Truman, huh?
Tell me, do you have any visible means of support?
A girdle, but I hope it isn't visible.
No.
Well, how about it? Do I get out of this flea trap?
I'm sorry. You don't look responsible. You're liable to skip.
Flattery will get you nowhere. That's the nicest thing that's been said to me in weeks, huh? Now, process server, Mr. Berg, in your job, just what do you do?
Serve summons, complaints, and subpoenas.
When is the best time to serve your papers? At night when the victim is sound asleep?
Best time to serve is at dinner time.
I see. While the victim is serving cold cuts, you hand out hot subpoenas. Is that it? What is a subpoena? As if I didn't have one in my back pocket. Right?
Subpoena is an order to appear in court and give testimony, testify, either for the defendant or the plaintiff.
Mm-hmm. And who do you work for?
I work for the Golden State Process Service.
How much do you get for this kind of work?
We get $1.50 for city service and $2.50 for county, plus mileage.
Mm-hmm. And how much do you get for mileage?
7 cents a mile.
That's where you make your real dough, huh? How much would you charge to serve a summons at my house?
Where do you live?
You know where the Burma Road is? You turn left there and go to Hong Kong. And it's the third Burma shave on the left. Well, we're happy. We're delighted to have you two as our guests tonight, and in return we have some lovely gifts from our sponsor.
For the bail bondsman, Elgin American's exclusive heart-shaped compact that's definitely different. Something your wife will truly appreciate. It's jeweler's bronze that looks like gold.
Well, thank you very much, and on behalf of my wife, we appreciate this. Thank you.
For the process server, here's an ideal gift for you. An Elgin American cigarette case with today's smart new leather-like look.
Thank you very much.
Now, let's play You Bet Your Life for $1,500. Run your $20 into more than the other couples, and you get a chance at the big question later. And I can't tell you how much they won, but George has gone off stage to remind our listeners.
The butcher and the housewife are ahead with $30.
Here we go. Let's see how high you can build your $20. You selected foreign monetary units as your category.
That's right.
Now, you have $20. Now, how much are you going to try?
$10.
$10. Here's your first question. You're going to bet $10. What is the monetary unit of Mexico?
The peso.
The peso is right, huh?
They're on their way. They have $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. How much of your $30 will you bet?
25.
Talk right up.
25.
25. What is the monetary unit of the Netherlands? That's a tough one.
It's based upon the English pound.
Nothing is based on the English pound anymore, huh? I'm sorry, it's the guilder, Guilder.
They now have $5.
You now have $5. Now, here's your third question. How much of the 5 are you going to try?
Try 4.
Try for. All right.
You're going to try 4. All right. What is the monetary unit of Japan?
The yen.
The yen is correct.
Now they have $9.
All right, you've climbed up to Mount McKinley. You've got $9. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 9 are you going to risk?
9.
Okay.
What is the monetary unit of Canada?
Canadian dollar.
The Canadian dollar is right, huh?
And they wind up with $18.
You wound up with $18.
But that means that the butcher and the housewife with $30 get the chance at the $1,500 question.
The name Elgin American means the very finest quality, designing, finish, and craftsmanship. The best value. In exquisite compacts, gorgeous simulated pearls, magnificent dresser sets, magic action lighters, wondrous lighter cases, distinguished cigarette cases, handsome military sets, fascinating musical humidors. Your favorite store has a complete assortment of the newest Elgin American styles right now. See them. And for your own proud use, for thrilling prestige gifts, always buy Elgin American.
And here's the winning couple, Groucho, the butcher and the housewife.
Back again to try for $1,500, eh? Good luck. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so talk it over thoroughly. And please, no help from the audience. Who is the head of government in Yugoslavia? He is now under fire by Russia. And what is the answer you two have decided upon?
We think it's Tito.
Marshal Tito is right. That's right. You win $1,500. Now, what are you going to do with the money?
I know one thing I need very much, and it's a new
Umbrella.
gas range.
A gas range, huh?
That's one thing I need.
And what are you going to buy?
Well, I'm
going to give us
gonna-
some meat for a gas range? Huh?
Could be.
Yes, you could.
No, I'm going to try to help my youngster through college. He's going to school in San Francisco on the GI Bill. Thank you very much.
You couldn't give the money for a better purpose. You received those lovely gifts from Elgin American. You won $30 plus $1,500. You won $1,530. Congratulations to both of you.
The Elgin American Show, You Bet Your Life, is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Bob Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. Remember, next week's big question pays $1,000. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx, presented by the creators of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, magic action lighters, and finest dresser sets. Elgin American.
Good night, folks. Have you looked at your compact lately? And don't miss Bing Crosby. He's next, you know. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is window. W-I-N-D-O-W.
Really?
You Bet Your Life. Elgin American, creator of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, magic action lighters, finest dresser sets, presents Groucho Marx in the Elgin American Show, You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here's that sterling Elgin American, the one, the only...
Nice fellow, known him for years. Hey, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples. George Fenneman, who gets first whack at it?
Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a bachelor and a spinster, and here they are. Mr. Stuart Bowles and Miss Henrietta Adair meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for Elgin American Compacts. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins a 16-millimeter Apollo Sound movie projector that retails for $129.50. Mr. Stuart Bowles. What sort of work do you do, Stu?
I'm in the investment department of E.F. Hutton & Company, and Mr. Marx's year is the 50th anniversary of the L.A. Exchange.
Is that so?
Yes, sir.
That's your job, huh? You're an investment broker, huh?
That's right, sir.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you wanted to be when you were a boy?
Oh, no, I never thought I'd be that.
Well, now you're grieving about it. Miss Henrietta Adair, huh? You're the spinster?
Well, if you mean am I unmarried, yes, I am.
Don't you like being called a spinster?
Well, I prefer unmarried.
Okay, unmarried. Where are you from?
Houston, Texas.
You're from Houston? How long have you been a spinster? I mean, unmarried.
That's sort of a difficult question to answer, Mr. Marx.
Well, it wasn't an easy question to ask, either. Well, I'll try to make it easier. At what age does a girl become a spinster? Not you, I mean, any girl.
Oh, around 30. About 30.
And how long has it been since you were 30?
You're just trying to find out how old I am, Mr. Marx.
Well, that's the general idea, yeah. Mr. Stewart, how old are you?
Oh, I'm about the same age as she is.
Well, you're a pretty cagey pair. Now, George has the perfect gifts from our sponsor.
For Miss Adair, this lovely engraved dresser set by Elgin American. It's finished in rich silver, the finishing touch for your dresser.
Beautiful, and I don't have one.
For Mr. Bowles, Elgin American's popular cigarette case with today's smart leather-like look.
Now, Stu, why haven't you married, huh? A young, jovial-looking fellow like you?
Well, I guess it's the old saying, he travels fastest who travels alone.
I see. Well, what's your hurry, huh? Do you know, Henrietta, do you know any little proverbs that would put Speedy here in his place?
Well, a stitch in time saves 9.
You mean he's coming apart at the seams? I think she's just giving you the needle here, Stu. Now, Henrietta, getting back to the subject of romance, why is it you haven't married?
Well, I suppose I just didn't take advantage of my opportunities.
Well, I think opportunity is knocking right now. On the other hand, it might be his knees knocking down. Well, tell me, Lightning, what qualifications are you looking for in a wife?
Well, I'd like her to be attractive and thoughtful, economical and considerate.
That doesn't sound like too much. Would you say you're economical, Henrietta?
I think I am.
Well, according to him, that only means how many miles do you get to a gallon. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to work together as a team for $1,000. But right now, here's some advice you both will benefit by.
The gift of a compact is very, very good. But a compact set is better. Elgin American makes them best. It's the gift you ought to get her. Compact, lighter, and cigarette case, designed to go together, are the smartest accessories you could give. And impress her, will they ever?
Now there's a wonderful Christmas gift idea. An Elgin American compact with cigarette case, lighter, or both, designed to go together will thrill any woman. Make her look so fashionable with matching accessories. They're exquisitely styled, finished, and crafted in the Elgin American manner. And they're real values from $9.95. $6.95 for American Beauty companion sets. Come in sterling silver, too. Tomorrow, buy an impressive compact set with matching cigarette case, lighter, or both to make that special woman specially happy this Christmas. A first in fashion, first in value compact set by Elgin American.
Now then, let's see if you two will get a chance at the $1,000 question. You're going to play You Bet Your Life on them and bring them up to date on the rules.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want in each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,000 question at the end of the show.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected famous racetracks as your category, right? Now, here's your first question. How much will you bet? You have $20.
$5.
$5. In what state is Bay Meadows Racetrack? California. California is right.
They're on their way with $25.
Remember, this is just chicken feed. You're going for $1,000 tonight, and that's the big prize. Now, how much of the 25 will you try?
15. 15.
15. In what state is Hialeah Racetrack?
Florida.
Florida's correct.
They're climbing. They have $40.
All right, you're climbing. You got $40. Here's your third question. How much of the 40 are you going to try?
30.
$30. Where is the Saratoga Racetrack?
New York.
New York is right.
They're really on their way now. They have $70.
How much of the 70 are you going to try?
50.
$50. In what state is Churchill Downs Racetrack?
Kentucky.
In old Kentucky.
And they wind up with $120.
Henrietta, you did fine. Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Now, don't wander off. You're still in the running for the big prize.
Groucho, the secret word is still window.
It is, George.
Yes, and perhaps the next couple will say it. We asked if there were any salesmen here tonight, and just before we went on the air, the studio audience elected Mr. Paul Chalfont, and for his partner, Mrs. Jean Reynolds, a housewife. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for Elgin American Compacts, and if one of you says the secret word, he wins the 16-millimeter Apollo Sound movie projector. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Jean Reynolds, that's right?
Yes, sir.
What does your husband do, Jean?
He's a real estate salesman.
Mm-hmm. Where are you from?
Right in the heart of Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any children?
Yes, I have, too.
You have two? Well, how many do you have? How did you meet your husband?
I met him at a wedding.
At a wedding?
Yes, sir.
Yours?
No, it wasn't mine. We were dancing. And I was dancing with this fellow, and we were very close to the orchestra. And he tried to do some of these fancy stunts. And he swung me, and before I knew it, I fell right in the drum. The fellow said, well, hurry up and get out of my drum so I can see what damage you've done.
What did he say? I got you under my skin?
Well, I was so embarrassed, and I said, just take my name and address, and I'll be glad to compensate for it. So he kept coming over my house, and he never got any money. And finally, well, he forgot all about his drum, and I figured it would be cheaper to marry the guy than buy him a new drum.
Now, salesman, Chalfont, is that right?
That's right, sir.
What do you sell?
I sell washing machines and ironers.
Are you a traveling salesman?
I'm a salesman, but not a traveling salesman.
I see. Well, that's logical. I do some farming, but I'm not what you'd call a farmer's daughter. Who do you work for?
I work for Thor Corporation.
Is that Thor? Now, what are they Thor?
No.
Now, let's cut out the baby talk. Who do you work for?
Thor, Thor, Thor Corporation.
Oh, I see. Would you like to send one of your machines over? I'd like to rinse out that spot announcement you just made. Tell me, Soap Suds, how is the washing machine? How is the washing machine game or business?
Well, we are cleaning up.
I bet you've used that one before, huh?
Yes, honestly, I have.
Mm-hmm. Salesmen always tell little jokes like that, don't they? You have any other little yaks that you spring on the customer?
Well, there's another one I usually break the ice with, and that's about the couple that were in the iron and steel business. She ironed and he steals, you know.
Well, that must break the ice right over your head, that one. Are you sure that joke didn't go through your washing machine?
Well,
at least through the ringer?
It's clean anyway.
Hey, he's got a pretty good line at that this time. Does anything exciting ever happen to you, Mr. Chalfont?
Well,
pretty fancy pronunciation there. I think that means salami in French. Anything exciting ever happened to you, Paul D.
Yes,
Salute?
I had a rather exciting experience here last week, Thay.
You did?
Boss and I returned from a fishing trip. We returned home and he found out he'd lost his keys, so he decided I would be the one to crawl through the window.
Well, Paul, you said window, and that's the secret word. George, tell him what he wins.
A 16-millimeter Apollo sound movie projector. And now you can show regular Hollywood sound movies or movies you take yourself. It sells for $129.50.
All right, you stuck your foot through the window. Now pull it out and let's get back to business, huh?
Well, I got in, but I also found out the missus, wouldn't answer the door.
Who's
And that's,
missus?
The boss's wife. And after I got inside, I found out that he put me through the bathroom window, and the reason why she hadn't come to the door that she was taking a shower.
Well, she should have stayed in that Thor washing machine. Well, you're an interesting and amiable couple, and we're happy to have you here. Now, we have some ideal gifts from our sponsor.
For Mrs. Reynolds, pearls for you. Elgin American's beautiful simulated pearls. They're the finest pearls made by man. I'm sure you'll enjoy them.
Thank you. They're exquisite.
And for Mr. Chalfont, this
Chalfont.
For Mr. Paul, this slim, sleek, sterling silver cigarette case by Elgin American, handsomely engraved, as you'll notice. How do you like it?
Wonderful.
Now you're going to play You Bet Your Life for $1,000. Run your $20 into more than the other couples, and you get the chance at the big question later. Fenneman's offstage to remind our listeners how much the first couple won.
The bachelor and the spinster won $120.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected Presidents of the United States as your category. Now, here's your first question. You've got $20. How much you going to try?
$10.
$10. What was the name of the president who in 1919 tried to lay the foundation for everlasting peace?
Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson is right.
And they're off to a good start with $30.
Woodrow Wilson, sometimes known as Alexander Knox. You now have $30. Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight, and that's the big prize. How much of the 30 are you going to try?
$20.
Okay. What was the name of the president who drafted the Declaration of Independence?
Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson is right.
They now have $50.
You should have known that, Mrs. Reynolds. There's a street in Chicago named Jefferson, isn't there? All right, you've got $50. Here's your third question. How much of the 50 are you going to crack?
$40.
$40. What was the name of Lincoln's successor? He was the only president to be impeached.
Johnson. Andrew Johnson.
Andrew Johnson is correct.
They're really on their way now. They have $90.
Andrew Johnson was one-time heavyweight champion of the world. Huh? All right, you've got $90. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 90 are you going to go for? And no coaching.
$70.
$70. What was the name of the vigorous president who was a hero in the Spanish-American Wars, head of the Rough Riders?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt is right.
And they wind up with $160.
Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Now, in just 1 minute, our last couple will play You Bet Your Life, and then we know who gets the $1,000 question. What an auctioneer item, eh? But right now, listen to this.
Oh, I forgot my lighter. Here, take mine. My wife's always borrowing it, too, so I'm giving her one for Christmas. Say, that's a beauty. What kind is it? Elgin American's new Socialite. Yes, everybody goes for Elgin American's terrific new lighters, and they make terrific Christmas gifts. So beautifully designed and finished, they look like jewelry, and they work like magic. Have a magic action double catch that's new, different, safe, and the most modern sure-fire mechanism ever made. Yet these last word Elgin American lighters for men and women are priced from just $4.95. Table models from $9.95. Values beyond compare. Tomorrow, buy these very finest lighters for every smoker on your Christmas list and give them the light of their lives. Socialite lighters by Elgin American.
All right, we'll soon know who's going to earn the most money and get the chance at the $1,000 question. George, who's leading at this point?
Well, the salesman and the housewife are leading with $160. Our final couple doesn't know the secret word is window because they've been in a waiting room off stage. We invited some people with unusual occupations to be at the show tonight, and our judges selected these two to be on the program. And here they are, Mr. A. Eugene Mosier, an explorer, and Mr. Joseph May, a lighthouse keeper. Gentlemen, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for Elgin American Compacts. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins an Apollo Sound movie projector instantly. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mr. Joseph May, you're the lighthouse keeper?
Yes, sir.
You're a cute little rascal. Where are you from, Joe?
I'm from Carnarvon.
Carnarvon?
Yes, sir.
Where is that? You...
Northern Wales.
In Northern Wales, huh? Yes. Can you speak Welsh?
No.
Are you married?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you're married, why are you doing light housekeeping?
Well, the wife, she does the light housekeeping, and I just look after the light in the lighthouse.
Oh. Now, how'd you meet your wife, Joseph?
I met her in Raymond, Washington, in a skating rink. She bumped into me, I think.
You're not sure, huh?
I am now, yes.
Just where is your lighthouse?
Point Vincenti.
Where's that?
It's located so that it protects the entrance going into Los Angeles Harbor.
Now, why does the harbor need protection? I thought it was the ships that needed protection.
Well, we protect the ships as well.
You don't care about the harbor anymore now. My, but you're fickle, Joe. Suppose your light can't be seen. How do you warn ships?
We have a fogo when we start up.
Suppose that fails.
We have a standby fog signal that's operated by a gas engine.
And suppose that fails.
We're out of commission.
And how much commission do you get? Mr. Mosier, is that the way you pronounce it?
Mosier.
Mosier, huh? Where are you from? You're the explorer, huh? Where are you from originally?
Alexander, Virginia.
And where have you been?
Where haven't I been?
No, I asked you first now. Where have you been?
About every country in the world, every place.
It's hard to believe. You mean there isn't a single place you haven't been?
That's right, there isn't a single place I haven't been.
How about the ladies' lounge at the Union Station? What do you say to that? Huh?
Oh, you got me there.
Well, if I have, I'm going to get out of there, too. How long have you been exploring?
Oh, exploring, adventuring, about 31 years.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's the most interesting place you've ever been?
Tibet.
Tibet?
That's
what
right.
time did you go to Tibet? Do you remember?
Oh, get along.
Tell me, how did you become an explorer? Did you get lost in a revolving door when you were a boy? Huh?
Oh, I guess it was born in me. My godfather is Aloysius T. Smith, and better known as Trader Horn.
How did it happen he was your godfather?
Well, he happened
Did he get you in a trade or something?
No, he happened to be down in Virginia when I was born, and he's a very good friend of my father, so my father named me Aloysius Eugene Francis Xavier Joan of Arc Vincent Irish Patrick Mosier.
No wonder you keep traveling, huh? By the time you register in a hotel, it's time to get up in the morning. Have you any odd experiences that you'd care to relate?
Well, I guess the biggest adventure was when I almost got married in Arabia.
Oh, that'd be an adventure anywhere, huh?
Yeah.
Who to?
Oh, 6 Arabian girls.
Cheaper by the dozen, eh?
You see, I went down there and saved some girl from some bandits or something. She took me home and introduced me to the harem. And I liked the looks of what I could see of them. And I asked each one to marry me. And there was a law that you couldn't look under the veil before you married them. So I lifted up the veil and they threw me out. Did the
6 of them throw you out, or one at a time, huh?
A couple guards.
Whole thing sounds pretty harem-scaring to me. Well, tell me, Itchy Feet, what was your most exciting experience besides the Arabian debacle?
I guess it happened when I was on the Saratoga. Good old ship that couldn't go down. And was on there, and Admiral Halsey was then captain, and Admiral Mitchell was executive officer. And I walked down the deck with my mind on some blonde over in Long Beach. Might have been a redhead. I didn't see the executive officer and didn't salute him. He jumped me. He said, Mosher, you salute an officer when you see one? I said, yes, sir. My mind's on a blonde over in Long Beach. He says, up, go put yourself on report. I figure out, well, if I got on report, I couldn't go over to Long Beach to see that girl. So I just didn't put myself on report.
Did the Saratoga always cruise around Long Beach?
I took care of the time.
No wonder they couldn't sink it.
Comes Captain Mass, and the captain sent for me, Halsey. He says to me, he says, Commander Mitchell said, put yourself on report. I said, yes, sir. He said, well, why didn't you do it? I said, I just reconsidered the matter and decided to give myself another chance. He let me go.
Well, you're certainly a good sailor, all right. Now, tell me, Bub Snatcher, who owns your lighthouse? Is it a government housing project?
No, it's one of the facilities of the United States Coast Guard.
Oh. Well, what are some of the other Coast Guard services?
Well, there's a lifeboat station and sea and air rescue,
Ice
weather patrol, ice patrol, and things like that. Mm-hmm. The Coast Guard is putting out an opportunity now for single young men between the ages of 17 and 22. They have a chance to go through the Coast Guard Academy.
You lost me by a half a century. Huh? Now, how high is your lighthouse?
194 feet above mean low tide.
Well, how do you get upstairs? Do you float up on the tide?
No, we have 72 stairs.
72 steps?
Yeah.
How do you know there are 72 steps?
Well, I've counted them every day.
You still doubt it, huh? Well, why do you count them every day, Joe? Is that all there is to do then?
No, we have other things to do, such as...
I know where you can get 6 Arab girls. By now, maybe you can get them without the veils. Is that all you do, count the steps?
No, we have the maintenance of the station to do, the machinery to keep up, books to take care of.
What do you mean books to take care of?
Well, the bookwork, I mean.
Well, what kind of bookwork?
Well, there's all different kind. You know what bookwork there is to do in a government. The government couldn't keep
income tax, I know, but I didn't... What do? Do you count every wave that comes in or something? And then do you count the undertow on the way out again? And send the whole thing to Washington? They tear it up and raise the taxes. Huh? Now, it's most instructive having you both there. I learned a lot. I learned that there were 72 steps in the lighthouse. And I learned that you mustn't lift a veil on an Arabian beauty. Huh? Now, before we proceed, George, is your ideal gifts from our sponsor.
For Mr. Joseph May, the lighthouse keeper, Elgin American's Smart Compact with a new curved square shape and the unusual two-tone engraving. His wife will love it.
Sure, thank you very much, Mr. Mark.
Why, it's a pleasure to give it to you, Mr. May.
For the Explorer, Elgin American's popular cigarette case with a rich green leather look, something he'll be proud to show off in all his travels.
Now you're going to play You Bet Your Life. You beat our other two couples, you'll get a crack at the $1,000. I can't tell you how much they won, but George is off stage to remind our listeners.
The salesman and the housewife are ahead with $160.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected leaders in our government as your category. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Here's your first question. You have $20. How much will you bet?
$10.
Who is the Secretary of State?
Dean Acheson.
Dean Acheson is correct.
They're on their way with $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. You've got $30. How much will you bet?
$20.
$20. Who is the Attorney General?
Tom McGrath.
J. Howard McGrath, but that's
Yeah.
close enough. You got the last name, so you win that.
They're climbing. They have $50.
They're climbing. You got $50. Here's your third question. Are you ready? How much you going to bet?
40.
40? He doesn't even ask, the lighthouse keeper. He's the captain of this scow, all right. $40. Who is the director of the Mint?
The director of the Mint is Cruz Snyder is Interior. You got me up there.
I'm sorry. It's Nellie Taylor Ross. That's a pretty tough one, though.
They now have $10.
Well, you've got $10, and here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 10 are you going to try?
$10.
Who heads the Federal Bureau of Investigation?
Hoover.
J. Edgar Hoover is right.
And they wind up with $20. And that means the salesman and the housewife, with $160, get the chance at the $1,000 question. And now, a word from Myron Wallace.
Elgin American simulated pearls in a handsome satin-lined jewel box of gold-like jeweler's bronze. Ah, gentlemen, there's a gift to thrill her soul. A gift to make you seem the most wonderful man in her world. Yet this bountiful, beautiful gift is easy to give. Lustrous, glowing Elgin American pearls in a luxurious jewel box start at only $10. Others up to $20. Buy them for her tomorrow. Elgin American simulated pearls.
And here's the winning couple, Groucho, the housewife and the salesman.
Ready to try for $1,000, eh? Good luck, and I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so talk it over thoroughly and no help in the audience, please. The Republic of Liberia is patented in government after the United States. They even honored one of our presidents by naming their capital city after him. What is the capital city of Liberia? Mr. Chalfont, as the Speaker of the House here, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Lincoln.
No, I'm sorry. It's Monrovia after President Monroe. I'm sorry. So that means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. Well, you lost the big money, but you won $160 in cash, and you received those lovely gifts from Elgin American. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
The Elgin American Show, You Bet Your Life, is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Bob Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. Remember, next week's big question pays $1,500. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx. Presented by the creators of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, magic action lighters, and finest dresser sets, Elgin American.
Good night, folks. Have you looked at your compact lately? Now, don't tone the dial. Bing Crosby's next, you know. And then comes Burns and Allen. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word
Anyone
tonight...
falling asleep during the show will be thrown out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is dust. D-U-S-T.
Really?
You bet your life! Elgin American, creator of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, magic action lighters, finest dresser sets, presents Groucho Marx in the Elgin American Show, You Bet Your Life. The comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here's that sterling Elgin American, the one, the only...
Groucho! He must be a kigme. Oh, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples here tonight. George, who's first?
We invited some bacteriologists to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mr. Frank Matuccio, and his partner is Mrs. Idella Manicera, who operates a bird hospital. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, folks, for Elgin American Compacts. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins a 16-millimeter Apollo Sound movie projector that sells for $129.50. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mr. Matuccio?
Yes?
You're the bacteriologist.
I am.
Where are you from? I'll call you Frank, eh?
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica, huh? Married?
Yes.
How long have you been married, Frank?
Oh, about 11 or 12 years.
What is a bacteriologist?
Oh, a bacteriologist is one who studies bacteria.
Well, what's bacteria? The rear door of a cafeteria?
Bacteria is a unicellular structure which exhibits some of the fundamental process of plant protoplasm.
That's very true, you know. You mind if I ask you another question?
Not at all.
What is bacteria? The rear door of a cafeteria? Mrs. Manacera.
Yes.
That's an odd name. Is that the correct pronunciation?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Is that, what is it, Spanish?
Italian.
Italian. Well, what does it mean in English? Does it have any English significance?
I was so busy getting the man that I didn't think to analyze the name.
Well, Idella, is that your first name?
Yeah,
Idella?
it is. My given name.
Your given name, eh?
Yes.
I guess somebody was glad to get rid of that name. You operate a bird hospital, huh?
That's right.
And you're a bird doctor, I take it.
Yes.
Can you stand on one leg and go to sleep? Well, you're a doctor, sort of. Maybe you can answer a question that's been bothering me for a long time. What is bacteria?
That's exactly what the doctor said.
Everybody seems to know but me, huh? For a bird doctor, you're pretty cagey, I know. Well, tell me, Louis Pasteur, that's you. How did you meet your wife? Under a microscope, or?
No, I met my wife at a Eastern hospital. She happened to be the personnel clerk there, and she took down my.
Steady down.
Yeah. What I wanted to say was that she took my application,
Was it a hot application?
No, it was a pretty good application.
Do you have any youngsters, Doc?
No youngsters.
Does anything exciting ever happen around your laboratory?
Oh, not too much. I happened to listen to a baseball game one day, one of the World Series, over a stethoscope.
You listened to it over a stethoscope?
That's right. We couldn't hear the speaker loud enough at the time, so my chief, the pathologist, walked up to his office and came back with a stethoscope and placed it over the speaker of the radio and gave us the play-by-play account of the game from then on. So
I didn't think you'd be able to do that with a stethoscope.
Oh, yes.
Because most of the Brooklyn players didn't have any heart for this World Series. Well, tonight I'm learning quite a lot about birds and bacteria, and now I want you to have the perfect Christmas gift from our sponsor.
For Mrs. Idella Manicera, Elgin American's beautiful pearls. An ideal Christmas gift for any woman. They're the finest pearls made by man. I'm sure you'll enjoy them.
Thank you. They'll match everything I have.
And
what about Ducky here?
For Mr. Matuccio, an ideal Christmas gift for a man. Elgin American's popular cigarette case with today's smart leather-like look.
Oh, very nice. Now I can stop bumming cigarettes, I guess.
Now, Idella, what kind of birds do you doctor?
Well, we have all kinds. We have canaries and parakeets and cockatiels and parrots and minor birds.
Minor bird? Is that the bird that looks after the miners? That isn't John L. Lewis, huh? Now, do you ever treat any wild birds?
Yes, we treat wild birds. They're brought to us constantly.
What kind?
Well, all kinds. Mockingbirds and blackbirds and larks. Everything.
What do you do for a lark?
Well, we reduce the fractures if that happens to be the case.
You're just an old night owl, that's what you are. You just don't give a hoot, do you?
That's right.
What's the most unusual bird doctoring you've ever tackled?
I once had a pair of penguins brought to me.
You did, huh? I've led a very sheltered life. I've never had a penguin. What was the matter with them? Did they fall off a package of cools?
No, they fell from a cool place into a warm climate, and that gave them pneumonia.
They fell from a cool place into a warm climate?
Into a warm climate.
That's what eventually is going to happen to me, you know. Now tell me, Florence Nightingale, when you were a young girl, a real young girl, I mean, you're still a girl, but did you always dream of someday being a bird doctor?
No,
What did you want to be?
I wanted to be a physician. But when I was a girl, that wasn't being done. My parents threw up their hands in horror.
Mm-hmm.
So
had they swallowed them? What a vulgar mind I have. In just 1 minute, you're going to work together as a team for $1,500. But first, listen to this.
Who said Santa Claus was one man with whiskers? He's every gent giving Elgin American compacts to his gal and sisters.
Lives there a woman with a bedroom to her name who doesn't long for an Elgin American dresser set to glamorize same?
And show me the man who wouldn't strut with a cigarette case and lighter by nobody but Elgin American.
Here's the gift inspirational for women and girls. Those gorgeous, sensational, simulated pearls by Elgin American.
What causes this great Elgin American preference? It's beauty, style, perfection with a difference.
And to keep all your Christmas shopping very budget nice, Elgin American gifts outvalue them all in price.
Yes, Elgin American gifts are first in fashion, first in value, first in the hearts of every man and woman on your list. So make this the Christmas to outdo them all. Give Elgin American.
Now then, let's see if you're going to be our winning couple and get the chance at the $1,500 question. Fenneman, tell them the rules.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,500 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's going on out here.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected nicknames for college teams, right?
That's right.
What college how many you have $20? How much do you want to bet?
Well, 10.
10. What college team is known as the Indians?
Stanford.
Stanford is right.
And they're off down the field with $30.
You're going for $1,500 tonight. How much of your $30 will you try?
Well, 20.
20. What college team is known as the Mustangs?
Southern Methodist.
Southern Methodist is on the nose.
And now they have $50.
Here's your third question. How much of the 50 are you going to try?
40.
What college is known as the Vandals? Vandals.
Tennessee? No. Vanderbilt?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's where the big potatoes come from. It's Idaho.
Oh, Idaho. That's right.
They now have $10.
Now you only have $10, and here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 10 do you bet?
Well, we'll bet the works.
You bet the works. What college team is known as the Wolverines?
Michigan?
Michigan is correct.
And they'll wind up with a total of $20.
Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Don't wander off now. You can still get the big question, you know.
Groucho, the secret word is still dust. Perhaps the next couple will say it. Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a mechanic and a woman driver. And here they are, Mrs. Hilda Mary Buss and Mr. Jack McDonald. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, folks, to the Elgin American program. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins the 16-millimeter Apollo Sound movie projector instantly. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mr. Jack McDonald, huh?
Yes, sir.
You're a mechanic, eh? Are you married, Jack?
Yes, sir.
Any little wenches? Any little wenches at home?
I have
Wrenches
2.
at home?
2, sir.
How'd you meet your wife?
Oh, I was invited to a party one evening, and I was told I was to have a date with a girl by the name of Verna. When I got there, I found there was 2 Vernas, so I took my choice. And,
I hope you've quit that, though, huh?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work, Jack?
Work for Mark C. Bloom, 6210 Sunset Boulevard. Open 24 hours a day. Good service.
What kind of a mechanic are you?
Garage mechanic.
You work on garages?
On cars.
Do you work on them or under them?
Under them.
Well, why do you work under the cars? Huh?
That's where the work is.
Don't look now, but my clutch is slipping. Huh? Now, Mrs. Buss, Hilda Buss, huh?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Where are you from, Hilda?
I'm originally from River Falls, Wisconsin.
What is your husband's occupation?
Well, he's assistant vice president for the Equitable Life Insurance Company.
Mm-hmm. That's good business, the insurance business. Right?
Well, I think so, and he does too. Mm-hmm. Don't you?
Yes. I'm crazy about it. How'd you meet your husband, ma'am?
Well, I was selling men's real silk shorts door to door.
You were selling men's shorts? Do you model these things?
No. I met him in his private business office with a tape measure in one hand and a pair of orchid shorts in the other.
That's how you met him?
Yes, that's right.
And what did he do?
Well, I was trying to write up an order for him, and they come in the new 7-day pack. And,
What's a 7-day pack?
Well, Sunday is orchid, Monday is cardinal, Tuesday is Kelly green.
You mean you know people who change their underwear every day? Well, so?
Wednesday is champagne.
No,
Thursday is canary.
If Thursday is canary. I'll get that bird doctor back here.
Friday is salmon. Saturday is flesh color.
Flesh color. What's that, no shorts at all? I suppose Sunday you spend all day washing, the other 7 days. Well, this is a whole new world you've opened to me, Hilda. Now tell me, leaky gasket, what's the most common type of repair job that you're called on to fix?
People come in with a trouble, they say. They got a knock and a rattle, but it's all in their head.
They got a rattle in their head? Well, what gives you the most trouble, men drivers or women?
Oh, men.
Why? Why is that?
The man, he comes in and he knows all about it, you know. And the woman driver, she comes in to fix it.
Now, Mrs. Buss, is this true that women don't know anything about the car they drive?
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Well, you don't have to. He just said it. Let's see how much you know. For example, you've just stepped on the starter. Now tell me, what's going on under the hood?
Oh, it makes an awful roaring sound, and there's gas going through the generator, and jumps into the spark plugs, and first thing you know, the spark plugs are sparking away, and pretty soon I start off the car.
Well, what is a microbe? Can you tell me? Now, Mrs. Buss, I'll give you one more chance. After you drive around a while, your motor heats up, doesn't it, as a rule?
Uh-huh.
Now, tell me, what keeps your car from getting too hot?
Well, open the window.
I rest my transmission, huh? Now, we're very happy to have you both here. You've been a wonderful couple, and George has the perfect Christmas gift from our sponsor.
For Mrs. Buss, Elgin American's beautiful dresser set in jeweler's bronze with a look of gold. Notice that engraved floral design, Mrs. Buss. Isn't that lovely?
Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you.
For our mechanic, Elgin American's exclusive heart-shaped compact that's definitely different. It's jeweler's bronze that looks like gold. His wife will truly appreciate it.
Beautiful. All right, now let's play You Bet Your Life for $1,500. You run your $20 into more than our other couples, and you get a chance at the big question. I can't tell you how much the first couple won, but George is upstairs to remind our listeners.
The bacteriologist and the bird doctor won $20.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected pictures on paper money as your category. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Here's your first question. You have $20. How much are you going to try?
15.
15. Whose picture is on the $5 bill?
Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln, the old boy himself.
We're on my way with $35.
Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. How much of the 35 are you going to try?
20.
30. No, 30.
You're going to try 30.
30.
Whose picture is on the $2 bill?
Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson is right, huh?
They're on their way. They have $65.
All right, you've got $65, and here's your third question. How much of the 65 you going to try?
60.
$60. Whose picture's on the $50 bill?
Grant.
General Grant is right.
They're really climbing now. They have $125.
All right, you're reaching the peak. You've got $125, and how much are you going to bet of the $125?
$125.
$125. Whose picture's on the $500 bill?
Harrison.
I'm sorry, it's William McKinley.
McKinley.
That was a tough one. You gambled and you lost. Going to give you a chance to make yourselves $10 richer. It's not going to be easy, so concentrate. You ready? What animal do you find on a buffalo nickel?
Buffalo.
A buffalo is right. Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Now, in just 1 minute, our last couple will play the Elgin American game, and then we know who gets the $1,500 question. Right now, here's something all Christmas shoppers should pay attention to.
Don't tell me your Christmas shopping is done. How on earth do you know what to buy? Me, I hunt and I shop till I'm ready to drop. Get so confused I could die.
Save your time, disposition, and money, too, where they sell Elgin American Compacts. They're perfect. They're smart. Solve your list from the start. Do as I do. Buy easily. Relax.
Yes, that's how to simplify your shopping and still give beautiful gifts. Buy Elgin American Compacts for all the women on your Christmas list. They'll be thrilled with the elegance and perfection Elgin American stands for. You'll be delighted with the values. Priced from just $3.95. $2.95 for American Beauty Companion Compacts. Whatever you pay, even for sterling silver or 14-karat gold, you'll give the best gifts at the best price with the best compacts made. By Elgin American.
All right, it won't be long till we know who's going to earn the chance at the $1,500 question. George, who's ahead so far?
The bacteriologist and the bird doctor are leading with $20. And the secret word is still dust. Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a young couple who were about to be married. And here they are, coming in from off stage. Miss Jackie Hawk and Mr. Don Peckoff meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, kids, for Elgin American Compacts. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins a 16-millimeter Apollo sound movie projector instantly. It's a common word, something you see every day. Pretty classy-looking couple, I'd say. So you two are getting married, eh? Don Peckoff, that's you.
Yeah.
When is the big day, Don?
Oh, it'll be a week from Sunday.
Week from Sunday, huh? How old are you, Don?
I'm 25.
And Jackie Hawk. Hawk, is that right?
Yes.
Soon it'll be Jackie Pickoff, huh? How old are you, Jackie?
20.
20, huh? I presume you realize that marriage is a serious business, Don.
Yes, I do.
Would you be able to support Jackie on your income?
Oh, yes.
Are you as sure of that as he is, Jackie?
Yes. In fact, we've already worked out a budget.
Oh, you dreamers in for a surprise. Where do you work, Don?
I work at Orbach's.
Is that a second-hand store?
No? No, it isn't.
Well, I'm sorry. I wish it was. I want to buy a second-hand for my watch. What do you do at Orbach's?
Oh, I work in the boys department. I sell clothing for kids from 4 to 20, and once a week I take stock. And
have you ever been caught at it? And Jackie, where do you work?
I also work at Orbach's.
You work at Orbach's. How did you meet this fellow, in the bargain basement? How'd you meet him, Jackie?
Well, I was out with a friend of his, and we wound up the same place during the course of the evening.
Where?
And the Hobnob, Beverly Hills.
Who were you with?
A friend of his. I said,
Don't even remember his name?
Stanley.
Stanley, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And?
And
well...
you came in?
Oh, I came in a little later. And
Who were you with?
I was with a girl named Merle.
And what happened?
Well, I went home at 12:30. Stanley took me home, and Donald picked me up at 1:45.
Why, you little sneak, you, huh? Now, look, I'm a little past that period, but how did he transmit this message to you that he was going to see you after you had stashed away this other guy, huh?
Well, we had a chance to talk between songs.
I see.
Between
And Stanley
Cokes.
wasn't looking, and he
That's right.
quick slipped him the info, huh?
He went out to get more Cokes.
Shows you, man should never leave the room. What do you do at the store, Jackie?
I'm a rapper.
A rapper?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty snappy-looking rapper. And how far from Jackie do you operate?
Oh, about 2 minutes by the escalator, 2.5 minutes by the elevator, and 4 minutes by the stairs.
There must be a faster way, isn't there?
I haven't hit on it if there is.
Have you tried squeezing in one of those little change boxes that they shoot along?
We'll try that
No, I
next time.
haven't.
How did you shop around before you decided that Don was the best buy, Jackie?
Oh, I went out on dates. Went out with quite a few fellas, I guess.
Before Escalator Eddie popped the question here, did anybody else ask you to get married in addition to your mother? Couple? Did she lean over the counter and kiss you when you proposed?
No.
She didn't give you a counter proposal, huh? Who's going to handle the money after you marry, Jackie?
He will, I guess.
Is this all settled? Do you agree on that, Don?
Oh, we're not particularly concerned about money. Well, it doesn't matter.
No, really, it's of no importance, money, huh? That is, unless you want to eat or something like that. Looking for a room or something. What's your ambition in life, Don?
I guess my first ambition is to get myself out of debt.
Well, after you're 65, what's your ambition, huh? Are there any opportunities for advancement there at Auerbach's?
Oh, yes.
You contemplate staying there?
Well, I plan on going to law school in the fall.
Then you're going to sue Auerbach, is that it? Well, if you two can stand me for 5 minutes, you'll have no trouble standing each other, I'm sure. I wish you both every happiness, and I know you're going to have a wonderful time together. Now, George Fenneman has your perfect Christmas gift from our sponsor.
For Jackie, this lovely sterling silver compact with 14-karat gold engraving, an Elgin American, of course.
Thank you.
And for Don, Elgin American's hand-engraved sterling silver cigarette case that holds 20 regular or 16 king-size cigarettes. Something you'll always be proud of, Don.
That is really nice.
Now you're going to play your bet your life. If you beat our other two couples, you'll get a crack at the $1,500. I can't tell you how much they won, but George is off stage to remind our listeners.
The bacteriologist and the bird doctor are still ahead with $20.
All right, here we go. You have $20. Let's see how high you can build it. You selected songs with sweet in the title. Is that right? Now you have $20. How much are you going to bet? $10. Give me the title of this sweet song. Play, Jerry.
Sweet Leilani.
Bo-bo-bo-bo. Sweet Leilani is right.
And they're on their way with $30.
Oh, you got $30. Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. How much of the 30 are you going to try?
20?
$20. All right, what's the name of this song?
Sweet Sue.
Sweet Sue. Sweet Sue.
They're on their way.
Sweet Sue.
They're on their way. They have $50, Groucho.
They have $50, Georgie. Well, here's your third question. How much of the 50 are you going to try?
40.
$40. All right, let's see if you can identify this song. Okay, Jerry.
Sweet and lovely.
Sweet and lovely is right.
They're climbing now, Groucho. They have $90.
Hey, don't guess quite so quick. We have a fortune tied up in these musicians. Let them play 8 bars, will you? Now you've got $90, and here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 90 are you going to try?
All of it.
Well, we have 90.
You have $90.
80?
85.
$85. That's known as the Missouri Compromise. $85.
$5 to go home.
Give me the title of this sweet song.
Sweet
Georgia Brown.
And they wind up with $175, and that means that they get a chance at the $1,500 question.
And now, a word from Myron Wallace.
Perfection is the word for Elgin American's handsome lighter case. A lighter and cigarette case combined in one handy accessory. The lighter lights automatically when the cigarette case clicks close. Buy your Elgin American lighter case from $19.95 or its companion American Beauty lighter case from $9.95. Tomorrow, ask your dealer for surefire lighter cases by Elgin American.
And here's the winning couple, Groucho, the engaged couple.
Well, back again to try for $1,500, eh? Good luck. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so talk it over thoroughly and no help from the audience. Please. Recently, a 7-foot statue of the Mormon leader who founded Salt Lake City was erected in the Capitol in Washington. What is the name of this great Mormon leader? All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
I think of as Brown.
No, I'm sorry. It's Brigham Young. It's Brigham Young. That's a shame. That's a shame. So that means the big question next week will be worth $2,000. Well, you lost the big money, but you received those lovely gifts from Elgin American, and you won $175. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you.
The Elgin American Show, You Bet Your Life, is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Bob Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. Remember, next week's big question pays $2,000. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx, presented by the creators of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, magic action lighters, and finest dresser sets, Elgin American.
Good night, folks. Have you looked at your compact lately? And if you don't care for music, listen to George Burden sing in just 1 hour. Good night.
Pay all the bills.
How much is the wedding going to set you back, approximately?
Oh, I'd say roughly in the neighborhood of $2,000.
That's a fairly rough neighborhood, isn't it? Aside from that little $2,000 item, Mr. McHugh, what are some of your other duties connected with the wedding?
Well, I've got to give the bride away and act as
$2,000 giveaway, huh? I hope the FCC doesn't stop the music. Is that all you do at the wedding, just give away the bride?
No, I act as host and see that everybody's happy and gets enough to eat and drink.
Mm-hmm. Well, you look like a pretty genial host, Mr. McHugh. So all the guests are going to be very happy there.
Well, we hope so.
I hope so, too. And if your daughter is half as cute as you are, I think it's going to be... Has the swag started rolling in yet? The wedding stuff?
Well,
the gifts?
A few things have.
Uh-huh. You know why everybody sends presents to the bride, don't you? The only chance they have of getting rid of some of the junk that they got on their wedding, huh?
Groucho.
Yeah, yes, George?
I'd like to make a suggestion to Mr. McHugh.
Well, you go right ahead, George.
All right, it's
nobody makes finer suggestions than you do, George.
Mr. McHugh, it's customary for the bride to give nice remembrances to her bridesmaids, and compacts, pearls, and cigarette cases by Elgin American are certainly wonderful gifts at weddings everywhere.
Thank you, George. I now pronounce you Elgin American. And speaking of gifts, what are you going to give Mrs. Levine here?
Well, Elgin American's beautiful dresser set, finished in jeweler's bronze that looks like gold. A perfect gift.
How do you like it, Mrs. L?
I like it very well.
Oh.
It's just what I need.
Well, thanks. How was the wedding, huh?
He's not married
He's
yet.
not married yet.
No.
The groom got cold feet?
No, I
Usually, as most husbands discover, it's the bride that has the cold feet, huh? I want to thank all you foot warmers out there. Now, Mr. McHugh, let's get back to you. As father of the bride, what are some of your expenses?
Well, I have to buy the trousseau for the bride and the food and all various other things.
Mm-hmm. You seem to be providing everything for the wedding.
Looks like
Doesn't the groom's family supply anything?
Nothing more than the groom.
Well, that's certainly little enough, huh? You think that's fair, Mrs. Levine?
Well, yes, because the groom has to pay all expenses afterwards.
Yeah, but after the wedding, the bride's father has all the bills to pay, while the groom's father has a room to rent. Huh? Now let's play You Bet Your Wife. Let's play You Bet Your Life. In just 1 minute, you're going to work together as a team for $1,500. But right now, I want you to listen carefully to some interesting conversation.
Mary, what can I give Eleanor Blake for Christmas? She has everything. She may have everything, but her bedroom hasn't. Of course. She needs a dresser set. You've given me a wonderful idea.
And dresser sets are the decorator touch every bedroom needs today. Elgin American dresser sets for the most beauty, most value. They're exquisitely styled, engraved, and finished. Precision made to the last nylon bristle. Extremely value priced. Comb, brush, and mirror from just $14.95. From $7.95 for Elgin American's companion line of American Beauty dresser sets. So bring your bedroom, your guest room up to the minute. Buy Elgin American dresser sets tomorrow. And buy them for the important, impressive gifts they make. Just make sure they're first in fashion, first in value. Elgin American dresser sets.
Now then, let's see how well you two will do in the quiz. Fenneman, tell them how you play You Bet Your Life.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,500 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's happening out here.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected questions on famous hotels?
That's right.
Here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you go for?
How about 5? Should we bet 5?
5. In what city do you find the Terrace Plaza Hotel?
Would that be Los Angeles?
One answer between you. Take a guess. I'm sorry, the bell is tolled. It's Cincinnati.
They now have $15.
You now have $15. Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. Now, how much of the 15 are you going to try?
Let's try 10 this time.
In what city do you find the Palmer House Hotel?
Ladies and gentlemen, don't mention this to a soul, but the secret word tonight is sky. S-K-Y.
Really?
You bet your life! Elgin America, creator of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, magic action lighters, finest dresser sets, presents Groucho Marx in the Elgin American show, You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here's that sterling Elgin American, the one, the only...
When did he get out? Oh, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples tonight. George Fenneman, who's first to try and take it away from me?
Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected the father of a bride and the mother of a groom. And here they are, Mrs. Thay Levine and Mr. Martin McHugh. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for Elgin American Compacts, folks. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins a 16-millimeter Apollo Sound movie projector instantly. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mr. Martin McHugh, huh?
That's right.
You're the father of the bride, huh? How do you feel?
I have felt peppier.
Why don't you get some sleep?
I will when the wedding's over.
Aren't you married?
My daughter's getting married.
You mean your daughter's wedding, huh?
That's right.
You're the mother of the groom, eh, Mr.
Yes.
B, huh? When is your son going to be married, huh?
February.
February, huh? How long have you known Mr. McHugh?
I don't know Mr. McHugh.
Then I don't think you two should get married. Huh?
We're not.
Mrs. Levine, who just is getting married?
My son.
Your
and
son?
his daughter.
I see. To each other?
No, not to each other.
Why not? Why aren't they?
They don't know each other.
They don't know each other?
No.
What better reason do you want for getting married? let's get better acquainted with her. How long have you been married, Mr. McHugh? Huh?
About 22 years.
Now, how'd you meet your wife?
Well, I met Chicago.
Chicago is right.
Now they're on their way. They have $25.
Now you've got $25. Here's your third question. How much of the 25 will you try?
20.
20. In what city do you find the Sherry Netherlands Hotel?
New York.
New York is right. The little lady is right.
They're climbing now. They have $45.
Give the little lady $45. Here's your last chance. I tell you what I'm going to do. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 45 are you going to try?
45.
In what city do you find the Roni Plaza Hotel?
San Francisco?
No, I'm sorry. It's Miami Beach.
All right.
Well, I'm really amazed. I thought when you came up here you'd walk off with a lot of money. I'm going to give you one more chance to get rich quick. Answer this question correctly, and I'll hand over $10 in cash. And remember, no help in the audience, please. Who is buried in Grant's tomb? Grant is right. Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Don't go away now. You're still in the running for the big question. Fenneman, who's next in the docket?
A butcher and a housewife, Groucho. They don't know the secret word is sky. Our housewife is Mrs. Helen Hall, and our butcher is Mr. Jack Jeffries. And here they come. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins a 16-millimeter Apollo sound movie projector instantly. It's a common word, something you see every day. A butcher and a housewife, eh? Mr. Jeffries, eh? Where do you do your butchering, Mr. Jeffries?
Ralph's Market.
And where are you from? Frankfurt?
Arkansas.
And where are you from, Mrs. Hall?
Do you mean originally?
Let's forget our ancestors swinging in the trees. Just tell me where you were born, Helen. I'll call you Helen, huh?
Okay.
Okay.
I was born in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
And you, Jack Jeffries, you're not related to Jim Jeffries, huh?
Oh, distantly.
You are. Tell me, Soup Bone, how long have you been butchering meat?
About 5 years.
5 years. Now, there's always something I want to know about butchers. How can you tell the weight of meat? For example, a customer says, give me a pound of ground round, and you scoop up a slab, and it always comes out a pound. Why is that? Do you go by rule of thumb?
Well, after handling meat for so long and
Met her in a boarding house in St. Louis. Saw her coming down the steps one morning as I was about to eat breakfast, and that finished me for the breakfast. I didn't eat any.
You were eating breakfast on the steps?
I started No, at the table. But I saw her coming down the steps.
What were you eating? Do you remember?
Well, I started to drink some coffee.
Mm-hmm. And that was grounds for marriage?
That right there, yes. I was hooked right there.
How did you meet your husband, Mrs. Levine, huh?
Well, I came from London to Toronto, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband had been living at my sister's 6 weeks.
Uh-huh. And?
Well, it looked like something that I thought would be just right.
For your sister?
No, my sister.
Your sister didn't care for him?
Well, she was married.
Answer my question, Mrs. Levine.
Oh, she liked him.
Well, will your son and his wife live with you or with her folks?
Well, they're going to live on their own.
They're going to live on their own what, huh? Oh, they're going to live by themselves, huh? Why don't they live together? What sort of work does your husband do?
Well, he has the Carlo cleaners.
Carlo cleaners?
Mm-hmm.
And what is your occupation, Mr. McHugh?
I sell surgical instruments and hospital supplies for the ASLO company.
Anything exciting ever happened on your job that you'd care to relate, Mr. McHugh?
Well, something happened just a couple of weeks ago that I thought was quite funny.
You did, huh?
A customer called up, a woman customer, and she immediately complained about receiving a piece of equipment that was damaged. And finally she said, well, I can't hear you, talk louder. And I did. I talked much louder. And finally she said she couldn't hear me again, and then there was a lull in the conversation. The next thing I heard, she said, I'm sorry, but I'll have to call you back. My battery went out.
Did she say who it went out with? Now, Mr. McHugh, as a father of the bride, tell me, are you the big wheel at the wedding?
Well, I think I am. I'm supposed to be.
In what way?
Well, I